I was just holding
You're
the
holding
laptop.
like a dad at Disneyland.
Yeah.
You hold this and you're giving a baby.
God, here we go again.
This is too far away. I can feel it already. Welcome back to the Sunday League Effect. And in today's video, we've got something a bit different for you. We're diving deep into 2024 and the Premier League season so far. We'll be uncovering the stories behind the stats. We've got loads and loads of stats for you guys. Nick has an inside man / person / woman / thing / day. All of the relevant and right
Genders, pronouns,
all of them.
Yep.
Uncovering the stories behind the stats that have shaped the drama on the pitch. We'll be looking at all the goal tallies, the highest scorers of 2024. So you've got some of the relegated teams obviously are not going to do too well in any of these stats.
No,
apart from
absolutely.
bad ones. But even the bad ones, they're not that high up. You'll be shocked at some of these terrible defensive displays. We're breaking it all down. But this isn't just going to be a stat down for you guys.
No.
We're going to be talking about the numbers and also asking a lot of questions that are going to spark, hopefully, a lively debate between us and yourselves.
Absolutely.
From who's been the most clinical in front of goal. Again, this will be quite surprising. I think that one sticks out massively. Who's overachieving and who's falling short. I think we have teams and players in mind already when it comes to those things. And also, based on the stats so far of 2024 and this season, who are likely to come out on top.
Yeah.
So get ready for some, hopefully, really good entertainment. I couldn't think of a better superlative thing. Just good.
That was a really good word, though.
Superlative.
Yeah.
I've been
Look at
word
you.
of the day, toilet paper.
Basically a thesaurus.
Hopefully you guys can get involved in the comments throughout all of this. We've got lots of questions and answers. Pause it along the way. A bit different this one's going to be, but before we dive into it, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more in-depth breakdowns. That's what we're going to be doing in 2025. We're going to be
Going forward, aren't we?
Yeah, based more on stats and facts. Obviously, you'll get our opinions and ourselves will come through a lot, but let's get into it.
I also have a really good quiz for you as well today.
You said that last time, and then you don't. Who has heard of a 5-question quiz?
Who has heard of taking less than an hour to do a quiz?
Yeah, well, that's you.
Yeah. Well, I've got more questions today.
Right, good.
Lots more.
Nick's got part 2 of his quiz that he done that probably none of you watched.
Nah.
What I was going to say, before we dive into all the stuff that we got planned, obviously there's been a couple of sackings, and obviously I'm not celebrating someone getting sacked.
Not Watford.
I mean, I'm celebrating the fact that we're hopefully getting a competent manager. Obviously, Sean Dyche went yesterday. We're recording this on Friday, so he went Thursday before the FA Cup game.
Yep. Surprising.
We'll talk about Sean Dyche quickly first. Did you think it was the right time? Good or bad for...
I just don't think so. I mean, I know Everton aren't really that well known for just hiring and sacking managers. Like, out of all the clubs that do it, it's not really them. And I would have thought they would have tried to give him at least a little bit longer, or have done it a lot earlier. Like, as in during the Christmas break.
Yeah, well, I think they had that good period. Like you spoke about when I told you, and they had a good period over December.
Drew with Arsenal, drew with Chelsea. And I mean, they're games that they probably would have written off at the start of the season.
They're free hits, aren't they, for teams like Everton?
Yeah. And they actually came out and, I mean, they scrapped it. But
with them results, it's deceiving. Like, football's all about perception, and it's deceiving when a team like Everton, and with all due respect to a team like Everton currently, I'm not saying they're not a big club, because Everton are relatively a big club.
Yeah.
But a team like Everton, in their current state, taking points off of Man City, irrelevant of where Man City are, Arsenal, Chelsea. You look on that on the face of it, like, they're really good points, and they're all 0-0 draws, clean sheets, which is fine.
Again, good point. But
the problem that Everton have is scoring goals, and that's why I was shocked when I found this out. They're only 1 point above the drop zone. I know their form has fallen off a little bit again, but they don't score enough goals. That's been their problem for years.
Yeah, but I've never really seen them invest in goal scorers. Like, I don't think,
they've thrown the dice a few times on players that are meant to score goals. Like, they bought Beto in for decent money, and he was scoring goals for fun before he came. Football Manager, wonder player, by the way, Beto, scores goals. He scored 60-odd goals for me in a season for the Premier League once.
Really?
I stole him off of a Football Manager YouTuber that I watch. I obviously didn't steal him from him. I found the player from...
from his advice.
They also bought in Armando Broja on loan from Chelsea. Unfortunately, he got injured last night. Looks really bad. Suffered from injuries since that spell at Southampton. But I wouldn't say they haven't tried. They have tried. It just hasn't worked. And then they've also got Calvert-Lewin, and Calvert-Lewin is a good striker, a good seasoned Premier League striker. It's just his fitness and form is so sporadic at the minute.
Yeah, but then again, is that just the way that Everton's run? Like the not run business wise, I mean run football wise, like from the managers and things like that. So is that maybe something they're taking?
The stylistic type.
Yeah, like the style of
Possibly.
play. Is that actually more hindrance than anything else?
Was that the front door?
Don't think so.
Oh, I'm just going mad. I've been working nights, so you might see me space out a little bit. I am listening, I'm taking it in. Yeah, I think it might be possibly more of a stylistic thing. But then saying that, Sean Dyche has always had strikers that scored goals. Like at Burnley, they scored goals.
Yeah, it's Burnley, isn't it?
Yeah, I personally am not too sure what Everton are wanting more from the team that they currently have. Like, I know survival is paramount, and they will probably stay up. Even if they kept Dyche, I think they would have stayed up.
Yeah, it's Everton. They never seem to
I
go
just
down.
don't think there's much depth in their team.
I think what also doesn't help is it's almost like they're designed for progressive football, but they keep hiring managers that aren't progressive. Like Like Sean Dyche he is a part of the bus manager.
Yeah, well, leads me on to the favourite for the job, which is David Moyes. Obviously, previously Everton, fan favourite at the time, probably not so much anymore with the way that he left. But I'd like to get some thoughts on Everton fans, actually. I was listening to TalkSport, and it is very 50-50. From West Ham perspective, David Moyes is a good manager, and I've said it a million times.
Just not with you guys.
No, he was a good manager for us. He just took us. Sometimes you reach your peak, and you need a change to move on. We made the change, and then we've regressed. Hopefully now, making the change again and bringing in Graham Potter,
switch it back around for you.
But I think Moyes could turn it around at Everton and give him a very good season next season if he comes in. He'll keep them up, and he'll push them on more, and he'll have a good season next year. I have no doubt about it. It's just the longevity of David Moyes.
Yeah,
2-3 seasons is the max you're going to get out of him. He'll take you to a certain point. Like it's in stages.
Yeah,
like Premier League survival, mid-table, challenging top 8.
Yeah,
hopefully
challenging Europe.
Football. I'm not sure how quickly he can do the jump like he did at West Ham, and that's simply because the league now is far more competitive than what it was when Moyes first came in at West Ham.
Yeah.
But moving over to West Ham.
See Lopetegui?
Lopetegui's gone.
Yep.
His win ratios are very deceiving, especially for a team like West Ham, because we don't win more games than we draw or lose, and we never should because of the status of where we are. In future, I'd love us to be, and we have the capability of being a big club that win more than they lose or draw, but currently we're not. But anyway, his win percentage was lower than Avram Grant. We got relegated that season with one of the best Premier League teams. That we've had in my memory anyway. So I got behind the back in because I got behind the board when they brought him on because I looked at his CV, Real Madrid, Spain.
He looked good.
You don't get them jobs if you can't manage. And I do believe he is a good coach. It's just that I think maybe his time at the top level's gone. Similar to like Jose, I'm not sure.
Well, you don't think Jose could do it if he come back?
No, he can't do it at the top level anymore.
You don't reckon?
Nah. You saw it when he went back to Chelsea, when he went to United, when he went to Tottenham. He did all right at United, but he can't.
Yeah, but it's Tottenham, isn't it?
It's different. I don't know. But I was all for the change. Graham Potter was who I wanted.
You mentioned it months ago.
But I wanted when David Moyes won the Europa League, the Conference League, the next season, I wanted Potter to come in over the summer then. So I think that was when he went to Chelsea. Yeah. And it was simply because the Conference League painted over our fractious defensive
in the Premier League
sufficiencies. Like we were leaking goals, and we just played essentially farmers teams all the way up to like the semi-final. Yeah. So I wanted to change then. It would have been perfect, I think, from the board to be like, Moyes, you've done a great job.
Thank you for winning us but
leave on a high. We're going to go another direction now and get a more progressive manager to push on what you've built. Mm-hmm. It would have been unfair, maybe, by a lot of people, but I think he was out of contract at the time as well. So
yeah, because they
extended it.
They extended it and then they had to pay him off.
So I wanted Potter then because of what he did at Brighton. He obviously went to Chelsea and that was dead in the water.
Yeah.
So at that time, obviously Potter's stock was super high. So I would have been super excited for it. And I'm not saying I'm not excited for him, but I feel now when you see the likes of De Zerbi coming in and Ursula at Brighton and both doing very good jobs, it sort of diminishes what
how good
Potter had done. Other managers have just taken it and progressed even further. Like the highest he finished with Brighton, I think, was like 8th or 9th.
Yeah.
And yes, it wasn't as strong a team as what they have now because they didn't have the money generated from the sales that from a lot of his players.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting. I think he'll be good at West Ham. It's just if he's given the time and how quickly we can fall into a good place in terms of our football and results.
Yeah.
Because look, football's a results business. You can play wonderful football, which we'll touch on as one of the stats actually.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've got it in my notes, so I have to bring up the stats separately. But
I've got some questions
it's
that.
Points win games.
Yeah, and I think
goals win games, points win titles.
I think I think this is why a lot of fans nowadays are 50-50 because they see good football but bad results, and they go, "Oh yeah,
prime example."
Yeah.
They
play really nice football.
Yeah, they've got one of the highest possession rates, most progressive passes. Their players are littered with successful passing averages, but they're bottom and they're rock bottom.
Yeah, by a lot. They're doing worse than the Derby season.
Exactly. So you need to find the happy medium. But
yeah.
I think we've trudged on long enough about that. We're going to bring you 2 episodes this week, so this one's going to be more of a
2024 covering. And
yeah, it's a little bit late. We know that, but we wanted to get out and give you something a little bit different because we have gone missing the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, with the festive period and things like that. Obviously, Mike's got a family, I've got family, and we had a lot to do, so it has been a little bit slow.
Yeah.
Before we move on to the next bit, I also wanted to touch on, did you see what happened to Benton Kerr?
Yeah, the head injury.
He's fine now, it's all good, so that's really great news and things like that.
I thought it was a clash of heads because I was at work, obviously.
No, well, he wasn't touched.
Well, no, I heard it on TalkSport driving back from the gym that it was like mid-air. He sort of.
So have you seen it?
No, I haven't watched it back.
So
and obviously the Sky didn't show it back.
No,
I have to watch when I'm watching it at work. I have to watch it with no sound, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's right.
I was just looking at ads for like 10 minutes. I was like, "What is going on?"
So basically, there's like a battle for a corner. It doesn't look like anyone's touched him. I don't know. I haven't seen the whole clip. And then he runs to go get the ball, and then all of a sudden just flops on the ground, like just out cold
so
on the ground.
One of those like Ericsson sort of thing again.
Absolutely.
So everyone's the worst.
And then luckily, obviously, he got rushed into hospital, and he was conscious and talking within the same day and things like that. So Tottenham came out and done that. But
it happens to anyone. Like, what's the cause for it? Is it like a stroke, like a blood clot, or?
So TIA is basically it's a precursor, like a warning to a full-on stroke.
Okay.
So
scary, isn't it?
Some people will have like 50 to 60 of these before they actually had a full-on stroke and things like that. But yeah, it can be down to blood clots. Which obviously can be down to head injuries.
Yeah.
Because you get obviously cranial pressure and things like
seizures and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Oh, it's my next one.
Oh, right. I was like, what is that?
I thought it was the computer purring. I was about to say something's going to blow up.
Yeah. But no, he's all good and it's all safe and sound. But it just goes to show that they're still human.
Mm-hmm. I think I saw a picture of him and his family in the hospital.
Yeah.
And it just brings it back to their people. Like, I know they're in an entertainment business.
We put them on pedestals and we also shoot them down a lot. But at the end of the day, like, you've got to remember that these are human beings and they can get hurt just like everyone else. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because, it's good to see that there's been some good progress for that. Yeah. As well.
Cool. But I'm going to be breaking down the season so far with... a lot of them's going to be questions, and then I'll give you some of the stats behind the questions that I'm going to be asking. Yep. Rather than making like a stat file where I'm just reading off who's top of everything. Yeah. I'm going to make it a little bit more fun. So if anyone watching wants to have a go along or whatever, then feel free to pause it. Don't forget as well, if you are watching along to this, some of these stats will come into the questions that I ask later. Probably, yeah. So I'm not going to ever ask anyone to do a revision because I left school and I will never want to do a revision again. You barely went to school, don't lie. Wow. I went to front school, How do I do... You got a Chromebook, right? No. Fucking hell, how the fuck... Why is everything so difficult on this fucking thing? I can't log into the account. What you guys are watching right now... Did you just touch my leg? No, please stop stroking my leg. Sorry. You like it? Don't like you don't. Yeah, but not on camera. Oh, people see things. We are now watching is Mike's technological age. No. Show. Is it... Look, fuck you. I do all of this prep. So I know. You're not allowed to talk about anything. I know, and you're good. Cheers, mate. Thanks. I'm a good.
You're good.
Right. Sorry. So, the goals story. This is all about goals.
Okay.
There's only a couple of questions, but there's a few stats in there as well. So, I'll lead off with a question.
Go.
Also, just for reference, this is going to be some of 2024, some of this season so far. So, bear that in mind.
Okay, yeah, so some will be the entirety of 2024, so
I'll try and...
the 23-24 season and the 24-25 season.
So, obviously, there's no questions around these teams, but teams that got relegated are part of some of these stats.
Okay.
But I'll try and incorporate that into the question so you know where we're going from.
I've done the same thing.
Cool. So, the first question I've got is, which team has been the most prolific in front of goal this season?
Okay.
This year, sorry, that is this year.
That's the entirety of this year. Is that goals converted, goals created, what? Goals and assists?
Goals scored.
Goals scored?
Yeah.
Arsenal.
That is, I'll give you a couple more guesses. So I've got the top three here. That's wrong. I probably should have that.
Is it like, as in shots attempted and goals converted?
No, goals scored.
Just goals scored?
Just goals scored, yeah.
Liverpool?
Yeah.
Nice.
So Liverpool in 2024, which probably backs up the fact their form here, because did they finish third last year? I don't even know.
I can't remember where they finished.
But it backs up where they are and why they're doing so well. So for 2024, they scored 92 goals. They're top of that.
Yeah.
Followed by Arsenal with 89.
Yeah.
And then Man City with 83.
Yeah.
What was that pace?
I've just got a question that's going to rely to that. So,
on the flip side, who in the current Premier League, who do you think are the bottom scoring teams?
Surely it's got to be Everton.
You're going to have to take into account that obviously the promoted teams only had 6 months.
Just clarify a little bit for everyone.
The bottom scoring teams from that's been in the Premier League since last season. So out of 17 teams that have constantly been in the Prem from the beginning of 2024.
Yeah.
So take away Southampton, Ipswich, Sheffield United, Burnley, Leicester and Luton.
Yeah.
There was 7 there, so I didn't count right. But the 6 teams that either got relegated or promoted, the rest of the 17 who are the bottom 3 teams, or the bottom team that scored, Everton is one of them.
Everton is one of the bottom 3, not including the ones relegated.
Not including the ones relegated.
Right, okay. So we've got Everton, we've got...
Oh, no, you are right. West Ham are one. I read it wrong. Everton are bottom.
Yep.
Then there's someone else, and then there's West Ham. You'll be surprised about who's in between West Ham and Everton.
I'm just trying to think. Is it? No, it can't be Bournemouth.
Close.
Close to Bournemouth?
Yeah, in terms of like stature and where they are. It's Brighton.
I'm so annoyed you just told me that.
Yeah, but you would have got it. I said it's close.
I know, I was literally going to say Brighton as well, because I just thought Seaside.
Right, next question.
Go.
Who is the top of the conversion rate in the Premier League?
Brentford.
They are. You look at the same stat sheet as me.
Well, no, I've got one of those. All right, so my question is, he's ruining my quiz here, but I'm going to do all of my quiz for you guys at home to see which one of you listening.
Yeah, see who's listening. But yeah, Brighton are top with a shot conversion rate of 15.3%. Brentford, sorry. Who did I say? Bournemouth?
Brighton.
It's not even close to what we're in. The 15.3% conversion rate, Liverpool are 12.4%, and Man City are 11.6%. So Arsenal are in the top 3, which I found...
quite strange.
Yeah.
But then again, I think Arsenal take a lot of shots that just...
What do you put this down to? Why are Brentford so clinical, and why is their conversion rate so much higher than their expected goals? I don't really understand expected goals.
XG, I think, is just one of those stats they've just created to make it seem more exciting. XG is nothing, because a penalty is 0.9.
Just not even a goal.
It's not even a goal.
Even if you score it?
Well, no. So it's still 0.9.
So that makes no sense?
Because the XG is not as you've scored the goal. It's just what you should have scored.
That's bad for people to miss penalties then, isn't it?
Exactly. Because you just add 0.9
chance of scoring.
Yeah. But I think with Brentford, I just don't think they take as many shots as some. When you're coming up against the teams like Liverpool,
it's still the same question.
Well, no, because it's your conversion rate, isn't it? So if they're not taking as many shots,
okay. So let me rephrase it. Why are they so clinical then? What makes Brentford so good?
They don't just take potluck chances.
But that still wouldn't make the sense. No, it would make sense. So what you're saying is they don't take pop shots from like the edge of the box.
No, they literally will just they're like old.
The best.
Yeah, they're like old school Arsenal. They try and run it in. They're trying to walk it
No,
into
they don't.
No, but what? Not literally try and walk it in like the
I
Arsenal.
think I imagine that their stats. I don't have the stats for this to back this up. But I imagine they're similar to that Stoke team that had like Rory Delap, Ricardo Fuller. They seem to be very clinical. Like they wouldn't have many chances in the game, but they'd always score. Like they play Arsenal and they score 2, but they'd have 1 shot.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
But I think that's it. I just think that when they're taking their chances, their actual chances, it's not like Trent Alexander-Arnold is a prime example of this. He will just take shots from 30, 40 yards out, and sometimes it pays off for him. But that's still a shot. That still counts.
I think a better example would have been Diogo Dalot. He loves a shot. Right, last question for the goals section from me.
Yeah.
And then we'll go into your quiz because I realised that a lot of my questions are probably going to be in your quiz.
Yeah. But that's fine.
And then I can reword. I can take out the questions and just do the stats.
Mm-hmm.
So, I imagine this is a question you have as well. Who are underperforming based on expected goals? Who's the biggest underperformers? In 2024, I believe this is.
I actually haven't got that.
Okay, this is surprising.
So
actually, no, it's not that surprising.
Underperformers in regards to what?
XG versus goals scored.
United?
No, their XG is shit.
Is it?
I'll tell you what their XG is actually. Keep thinking. This
I'm
is
just
2024, so
it's the whole of 2024.
Yeah. United's XG is 54.5 and they scored 56.
I do remember them being quite low down that list. I don't know, is it City? I imagine City get a lot of XG, maybe not so much now, but in 2024, I imagine their XG was quite high.
No. So this is obviously the disparity between XG and goals scored. So
yeah.
When I made this question, I had to look at the XG and then the goals scored. And I looked at a few teams, or I looked at all the teams, but I did narrow it down quickly. But this team's XG for 2024 is 67.4, with only 55 goals scored. So that's quite a big disparity.
Yeah, so you're talking like 12 expected goals more than they've actually scored.
So they're creating really good chances, they just can't finish them. And bearing in mind, their striker left for big money in the summer. I find this shocking. It's Bournemouth.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, okay.
So, obviously they had Solanke last year.
Yeah.
Who scored a lot of goals.
Yeah.
But it's still, there's what, if you round it down, 12 goals discrepancy?
Yeah. Literally.
That's if you average that out, that's what, a goal a game. That's getting on for nearly half a season.
Yeah.
But it's that was a strange one. And what do you put that down to?
But then again,
that's XG, so that's good chances created. That's not just pop shots like you were talking about.
Nice. I mean, well, a pop shot is still.
Well, the shot conversion rate has got to be part of it. I've just looked it up, and it's 9.2%. That's the 4th lowest. Current Premier League. Out of the current Premier League table, that is the 3rd lowest. Which is dreadful, considering to be fair, it's testament to Bournemouth and probably Iraola as to where they are, because they're still are they 7th in the Premier League?
Yeah.
They're
around the top 10.
Yeah, so imagine where they'd be if they were converting. They'd be up like near where Nottingham Forest are.
So I suppose that comes down to clinical, doesn't it? They're not
wasting chances, because they do waste chances. I remember when we played Bournemouth, we drew 1-1.
Yeah.
And yes, Fabianski made some worldies, but I'm not being funny. The keeper shouldn't have a chance with half of them.
Yeah.
Like, it was poor finishing.
And
any Bournemouth fans out there, like, if there are any Bournemouth fans watching this, or anyone who has watched a great deal of Bournemouth, even if you're from there, is it similar to I suppose to like Spurs? Like, you're creating really good chances and your team has loads of potential. I think probably not, because of where Bournemouth are opposed to
Spurs,
who they are.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. There's no disrespect meant towards Bournemouth. Like, Bournemouth are a small club.
Yeah, they are.
And they're punching massively, and they're a good team to watch. Yeah. From a neutral point of view, I love watching Bournemouth. But as a fan, does it get frustrating creating the stats are here to back it up, so they must be creating chances and missing loads every game. I suppose
I imagine it's frustrating, but at the same time it's probably quite exciting. Like, you're playing exciting football because you're obviously creating the chances. You're progressive, and I
think it's largely down to their fullbacks.
Yeah,
they've got very good fullbacks that bomb forward, like Milos Kerkez at left back. on the sides of last season. I think he came in.
Yeah.
We linked with him because we played against whoever they bought him from in the Europa League or Conference League. I can't remember who it was, and I didn't really notice him too much, but that's why we were linked with him.
Yeah.
And obviously, he chose Bournemouth because first team football. But yeah, but Bournemouth, I think if they can get
someone in clinical.
Now they've got Evan Nielsen out, their striker, I think they're going to struggle for goals. But it's more, I think it's more their wingers. Like Semenyo is up there for like shots taken, like right up the top. Cliver, I know, is around there as well. Like they've got wingers that take loads and loads of shots, and they're working the keeper or they're wasting chances with these shots. Like maybe they need to look for the extra pass sometimes.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's what would do it. But then, if you look at where they are,
yeah,
I mean, yeah, they could be a lot higher if they're a bit more clinical. But what they're doing is working for them. Playing that extra pass might get them a goal, but that might be what stops them.
Yeah, also
it could be more of a hindrance than a help.
It's down to the manager, isn't it? He obviously is his style of play because it's backed up over the last season, and half of last season and half of this season, essentially. Just to go back to Brentford, they outperformed the XG by 8.5 goals.
Okay.
Which I think, that's testament to their shot conversion rate. Like it's the same thing. I'll stop there before I go into defensive fortresses versus leaky lines.
Okay, so this one you've already mentioned before, but I'll throw it in there anyway. Mm-hmm. So Man City have scored the third highest amount of goals in all of 2024, but how many? Now, I've done all of these as multiple choice to try and make it a little bit easier. Yeah. Okay. So obviously you already know this one, but is it A, 83?
Don't cheat.
B,
don't cheat.
87.
I'm putting up here. Don't cheat.
C, 91.
I know what it is.
Yeah, I know. Okay. But that's what it is.
Don't give the answers.
I'm not going to. So Bournemouth, funnily enough, as we're talking about it, have the third highest amount of shots attempted
over 2024.
Over 2024,
right? With
Man City sitting in second.
Yeah.
But how many different do they have? So how many more have Man City taken than Bournemouth?
This will be like tens of thousands, isn't it? Shots
in 2024.
2024. It's got to be like
tens of thousands. That's a bit excessive.
Or it's got to be a couple thousand at least. Shots
attempted. Yeah. In 2024, right? So,
maybe I'm overestimating how many shots they have.
A, 99.
Oh, okay. But I mean, like, the discrepancy is this the discrepancy?
Yeah, the difference in between.
But each team would have taken loads of shots. I didn't look at the stat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's either A, 99, B, 113, or C, 72.
72.
Are you going to answer this one? Yeah.
I don't know that one.
Okay, well, you're wrong. It's not C.
Well, you can tell us the answer to that one.
It's B. There's 113 goals difference.
Shots.
So
Bournemouth, there you go. That backs up what I was just talking about.
Yeah.
The fact they're taking too many shots.
No, so Man City have taken 113 more than them.
Yeah, but Bournemouth are 10th. Man City's conversion rate's higher.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Go on. I know Kevin De Bruyne. Bill Foden.
Yeah, people who would take shots from anywhere. Liverpool have the highest shots on target, but which team has the highest conversion rate? You know this one, because we've just spoken about it.
Oh, yeah, I do.
So I'll leave that.
So give the options.
Oh, sorry. So A, is it Liverpool?
No, you're Liverpool top, you just said.
No, I said Liverpool have the highest shots on target, but which team has the highest conversion rate?
Okay.
Is it A, Liverpool, B, Aston Villa, or C, Brentford?
Okay.
Now, I'll do, this will be the last one I do because the next one moves on to different things. Right. Who has scored the most amount of penalties in 2024? Ooh. Is it A, Cole Palmer, B, Bruno Fernandes, or C, Mohamed Salah?
I'm going to answer this, but I'll give you a couple seconds because I've answered too quickly before. I don't actually know this because when I was making this quiz, I didn't do player stats. I'd literally done teams.
So I've got a lot of player stats.
Because there's 28 pages of this thing, and I was on a night shift, and I read a lot of it, but I would be honest, I got tired.
Fair.
I'm going to say Cole Palmer.
You'd be correct. Yeah.
We're probably about 15. No, 2024.
The whole of 2024.
9.
It's around that. I haven't really. On some of the ones further down, I've written.
This is called Defensive Fortresses versus Leaky Lines.
I like that title actually.
So I'll start with a nice easy one. Who has the best defence in the league of 2024?
You say a nice easy one, but I don't know.
No, I think this is fairly easy if you don't overthink it. Who has the best defence? Who has the best defence? Yeah.
Man City?
No,
because they league lines.
Yeah.
Liverpool?
No.
Arsenal?
Yeah.
So I thought Arsenal, but then I was like, I don't know. I've seen so many games where they've had goals scored against them.
Well, this season probably has closed the
gap a little bit more.
So Arsenal only conceded 25 goals in 2024.
Jeez.
Backed up with an XG against of 27.9. So they conceded less than their XG against.
Yeah, that's not bad going, is it?
Which I dream for the day West Ham could do that.
I bet you dream for the day that your shot conversion is higher than your shots taken against.
Yeah. Are there teams that have overachieved defensively? Out of the teams that have been in the Premier League since
the entirety of 2024,
the entirety of 2024, there is a massive surprise here, and I think it's testament to the beginning of their season this year, and it's Nottingham Forest. They are the third highest.
Yeah.
Out of the teams that have been in the Prem for the whole of 2024.
See, that's not bad, really, is it?
43.1, and they conceded 51.
So not a massive difference
That's
either.
higher than Man City.
Is it?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Is it higher than Man City?
Well,
the expected goals against is lower than Man City, but they've conceded more.
I suppose that's testament to their defence, really, isn't it? Whereas
it's XG against, so it's based on their play. So I think that's probably largely down to errors rather than anything. Some of these stats are a bit confusing.
This is the confusing thing about looking at stats and what XG does, because XG is a really useless stat.
Oh, it's just stupid. I hated it since it came in.
And all it does is it makes you get really excited about how good your team are, and actually, when you actually watch them,
you say that. I imagine you know the answer to this question. Who's struggling the most at the back in 2024?
West Ham United.
We are top, far and away top of that. We've conceded 79 goals with an XG against of 73. We concede far too many goals. I've said it for ages. We cannot defend. So that's not just Lopetegui. This proves it's not just Lopetegui.
No, that is your defence there. Because that's saying right there, like you were saying, leaky lines. Yeah. Not only is your XG high, your actual goals conceded is high. So it's not a case of
a whole new defence this year.
Yeah.
Like Wan-Bissaka, Todibo, Kilman,
I think
all brought in.
Wan-Bissaka should put up front, mate.
Wan-Bissaka's playing as an advanced wing back.
Yeah.
Why? Man United want to get rid of him because he couldn't do anything in the final third. Yet that donut was playing him as a fucking right wing forward, left wing forward half the time because he by a fucking left back.
How many goals did he score?
2.
There you go.
Well, I'll do that. But it's not the point. But anyway, we're not getting into West Ham today. No. That's for another day.
That will start a debate there.
Yeah, and that is what I had for defensive fortress, the leaky lines.
Yeah.
So I'll do my next one is possession.
Yeah,
and control.
So some of those you will mix into some of my quiz, but the quiz is more for you guys than actually for Mike, because obviously he's got all the stats, he could read through them. Yep. But then I do have a lot of just players, so that'll be fine.
This one's fairly easy. Can you give me the top 3 teams that have dominated possession the most in 2024?
Man City are 100% at the top.
Yeah.
67.3%.
64.4.
Oh, I know.
Second. This one I found quite surprising.
It's not Arsenal, is it?
Nope, not in the top 3.
Not in the top 3. Is it Brentford again?
No, possession?
Yeah.
No.
Is Brentford not good for possession? I always thought they were quite, because that's how they create the chance. How surprising.
It's not. I mean, it's surprising in the fact that their fans aren't happy.
Their fans aren't happy?
Yeah.
God, that's like half
not
the
with
Premier
that,
League.
just they're not happy with where they are and where they should be. And maybe the style of play.
Is it Palace?
No, not that surprising.
Oh, right.
Just trying to find the possession stat.
I don't know. Brian?
Nah, you're thinking too far down. Not that surprising. It's Spurs. Spurs are second with 61.3.
Okay.
I don't notice Spurs dominating possession, but I don't watch Spurs, to be fair.
I think that with Spurs, though, they pass it around a lot. They do a lot of what Man City do. Because the only reason Man City have got such high possession rates is because they do nothing but pass it around. Yeah. It's boring football. Guardiola. It's boring, mate.
Go on, who's first?
How surprising is this one? Is it Chelsea?
They're 4th.
They're 4th? Yeah. Oh. Is it any of the ones I've mentioned? Liverpool, Arsenal?
You didn't mention Liverpool.
Oh, is it Liverpool?
60%. Ironically, we spoke about this earlier. I didn't realise that it was this high, but Southampton's possession rate is 52.5%.
Really?
And that will just be for these 6 months. So that's probably why it's still so high.
Yeah.
The manager's style hasn't sort of taken over. Bottom of that, currently in the Premier League, will be no surprises, I think, to most, is Nottingham Forest with 40.2%.
They've got the lowest possession currently in the Premier League.
Yep, 40.5 is Everton, Crystal Palace 42.2, and then West Ham 43.5.
You're not bottom, mate.
No, we're not bottom. We're doing well there.
Well done.
And this is sort of a rhetorical question, because we touched on it earlier, but is possession always a measure of success?
No.
And it's definitely not. And
But look at Nottingham Forest.
yeah, Nottingham Forest, that's from
That
one
is
end
the
of the
prime.
scale, they're sitting joint second, and they're bottom of the possession over 2024. Equally, if you flip that around, the team that's currently bottom, Southampton, are sitting in 7th for possession with 52.5%. I just said that. Like, what is it with teams, and especially teams coming up, thinking that possession wins games? It doesn't. You need to be direct sometimes. You need to put the ball in the back of the net.
Sometimes you've got to play the risky ball.
Yeah,
you've got to...
and it adds up. Like, Southampton play most of the balls in their own defensive third.
Yeah.
Most of their pass. That's why Jan Bednarek is one of the highest completed passes, which I'm sure you looked at. That's really high. I'll put all the stats from this in the link, in the
bio.
Yes, I'll put it somewhere so you can look at this yourself. But there's stats to back all of this up. But yeah, Southampton only scored 12 goals this season. That's poor if you compare it to the possession.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I've talked about conversion rates and stuff of teams like Bournemouth and Brighton, but this is just fundamentally poor. Like, it's just, you're wasting the ball. Like, I get frustrated when West Ham pass for passing sake at the back and it's so slow. Under Moyes we did it. Under Lopetegui it was slightly faster, but we were
still the same.
Yeah, it was the same thing. Like, it's like you're passing for the sake of passing. Yeah, the ball moves faster than a player, but if you're going sideways and backwards, where's the progression?
You're not going anywhere.
I said this when they signed Flynn Downs. He's not a progressive passer. Yes, he's a good footballer. He's a good, wherever you want to play him, he's a good squad player, but he can't be your main player in midfield.
Your main outlet.
He's not going to do it. He can't do it. It's not in his style. He's not capable of doing it. Similarly, on the opposite end of the scale in terms of talent, Declan Rice can't do it.
No.
As well as what you might want a centre midfielder to do, but
to be that main outlet.
Yeah, it's teams need to wake up and just realise Pep ball just isn't it anymore. We need to move on from it. Like, passing and passing and passing. If it works, yeah, that's great. But if you're just passing, like
it's great,
like Burnley did last year. Where are Burnley on this? Actually, I didn't actually look.
So the passing like that is great against teams with less fitness levels. So when you're playing an FA Cup game, for example, yeah, and you're playing against players that aren't probably as fit, they don't have the facilities and everything that you do have in the Premier League, then yeah, that sort of passing football is going to win you the game at the end. That possession is going to win you. But when you're coming against other elite teams, passing it around doesn't work.
No.
The only team that it's ever worked for is Man City.
Yeah, the way that teams are trying to do it, playing out from the back, like, it doesn't. Not the only team. There are other teams.
No, of course, but I mean, recently.
What's the word? They're the pioneers behind it. Yeah, and the reason they can do it so well and so effectively is because they have some of the best passes in the game. Yeah, and that's from goalkeeper to I don't rate Haaland's passing, but to wingers.
But Haaland doesn't pass; he just scores.
To be fair, and again, leading into this, it's not really any surprise. Which team is the passing kings?
Obviously, it's Man City.
They completed. This is a random stat that no one's going to listen to, but 22,892 successful passes.
See, you say that, right? But I actually think there'll be some people out there that go, "What? 22,000 passes
in 2024? Well, just under 23." Biggest impressors here are probably Brighton.
Yeah,
with 18,000. But again, they're sort of the next step up from Southampton. Yeah, they complete wonderful passes all the time, but where do they finish? They finish outside of Europe.
Yeah,
like, they're not really. It's exciting. It's good football,
but it's not as progressive as it could be.
They're not. Swap these passes for more wins? Would you swap the possession for more goals?
I think every football fan would prefer to have less possession but more goals and more wins, more points.
Well, that's what points win games.
Yeah.
Like, points win titles. Points win things.
Goals
put you up the table. Fucking hell.
Goals win games. Games win points. Points win leagues.
Well, the saying I'm trying to reference is one I heard yesterday, and it's completely wrong what I'm trying to use it for. So sorry. Goals win. It's attacks win games. Defenses win titles. That's what I heard, but It keeps coming to mind, but it's just not
Doesn't. Yeah.
relevant. Sorry.
I get you.
Before I move on, surprises and standouts.
Yep.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Mike is just currently trying to figure out what
I wrote.
Yeah. He can't read his own writing.
So we talked about these teams before, but obviously Brentford's shot conversion is higher than what it was last.
100%.
It's increased this season to really boost their average over 2024 to that 15.3. So that's got to be a component that's talked about. Like Brentford's home form is still one of the best in the Premier League. Their away form's pretty shit, but it might not be the best still. Their away form's poor, but at one point their away form was bottom and the home form was top. Yeah. Most goals scored at home, most conceded away. I think it's a little bit more even now. In terms of
they've struggled a little bit at home. Yeah. Recently.
I wouldn't say struggled.
Not struggled, but they've dropped
a few more points at home. Definitely. Yeah. Ipswich surprisingly a high stat on here because their expected goals conceded is 39.5, right, just under 40, but they've only conceded 33.
Okay, so they're beating their
although they are conceding a lot, that goals against they're doing far better than what would be anticipated. To be honest, outside of looking in, you would have thought Ipswich would have struggled most. Yeah,
definitely being a newly promoted team and things like that.
Like, I don't want to talk about like football IQ or anything like that, but to an average watcher that just watches games here and there and don't know much about like the managerial styles of play, you'd look at Ipswich and you'd be like, they're going to struggle. Yeah. More than maybe Leicester and Southampton.
Well, I think especially if you're sort of not an avid football fan, but you are just like a partaker, you watch every now and then, you'd probably remember Leicester winning the league and
FA Cup, recency like tells it. They pissed the league as well last year. Yeah, they lost their manager in Maresca, but it's definitely got to be part of the conversation.
There's also the Championship they pissed.
But where are you in the Championship?
9th. We haven't been below 9th all season.
Yeah, but you ain't won since we went. Anyway, we're not talking about Watford. Also, Ipswich have a minus 15 goal difference, which I don't actually think is that bad, considering I think West Ham's are like minus 17.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably not the worst in the league, considering...
Well, we're the worst in the league. Not goal difference, but...
I was going
to say. So I think Southampton are still at the bottom because they've scored the fewest, but... Yeah. I think Ipswich is, especially the goal tally, the goal difference, is not as low as what it could be because they have a very good striker for the bottom of the table in Liam Delap. Yeah. Rory Delap's son.
Yes.
We were talking about Rory Delap earlier, but looks nothing like him.
No. Is it his son? Funnily enough, we were just talking about this with your kids.
Well, they're not mine.
No, that all of your kids have to be.
They look just like me. They're just me with hair and no beard.
Yeah, and one of them's a girl.
She still looks like me.
Yeah, she does.
Bless her.
Poor her.
She's in trouble. So with that in mind, which teams are underperforming the most based on goals?
Underperforming the most based on goals?
Goals, possession, passes in the final third, just in general, which teams
that's this season.
This is taking everything into account. I actually used ChatGPT to
figure it.
To find the most underachievers based off all these stats. And I entered a load of them. I didn't enter all of them, but I entered a load of them.
Spurs up there?
No.
Really?
Because Spurs is goals for and goals against are relatively even. This is more comparing those stats then based on passes in certain areas, shots on target. I can't remember what else I put in, but it's taking that all into account.
And then gone, right.
These are the teams that are...
I feel like City should be on there.
No, they're not.
But my thought process behind it is the fact that they will have the highest possession, passes, things like that, but yet they're sitting there.
It doesn't tell you where they are in the league this season, so I've not used... So the table that we had every team that was in the Premier League for 2024 in places. Obviously, you got the same thing. So obviously, Man City aren't down in 8th or wherever they are. They're sitting like 2nd or 3rd in that table.
Right, okay.
So based off of that table and this season...
Would Brentford be up there? Because obviously Brentford have quite...
No, Brentford aren't.
They're not?
No.
Okay. Is it any of the sort of top 6?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
So, I've only got one stat to back this up, but... Because you've got to remember, Brentford's goal conversion rate's really high.
Yeah,
so they can't be underachieving based off of that.
Southampton?
No.
No, I'd have thought they're underachieving anyway.
No,
So
I guess, and I'll tell you.
I'll have one more guess,
Go on.
and it will be for Bournemouth.
Yes. Bournemouth are the biggest underperformers this season.
Oh, they're the biggest as well. Okay.
And that's over 2024.
Yeah.
That's
12 months of football.
And that's where did they finish last year? Like 10th?
Yeah.
11th? And now they're sitting in like 5th, 6th.
Yeah.
So, like I said earlier, like Bournemouth fans should be really excited about their future, but at the same time, would you trade off some of the things we spoke about earlier for just more conversion?
Yeah. More points.
So they have an XG over the last 12 months of 67.4.
Yeah.
With only 55 goals scored. Again, that's that 12 goal mark. And then not second behind that, but another big one that pointed out. I've left out the big teams because when it says biggest underachievers, it will give you like Chelsea should be 2 places higher.
Yeah.
Man United should be 6th place. I don't want to talk about that because largely football's done by the eye test.
Yeah.
These teams that I've got here play good football, and you look at the table sometimes, you're like, oh, they're only there, or oh wow, they're there.
Yeah.
They should be much. They should.
Whereas,
be much
like when you look at your Man City's, your Liverpool's, you just expect them to be at the top, and if they're
even Man United aren't playing good football at the minute. They haven't played good football for the last 12 months. They've got no real style of play.
Look.
They don't waste chances.
12th, aren't they?
They're joined with us at 14th.
Jesus.
But the other team I've got here is Brighton with an XG of 51.2. So that's massively different to Bournemouth's.
100%. Yeah.
With 46 goals scored. So their conversion rate's higher than.
Their conversion rate's lower than Bournemouth.
No, the conversion rate's higher because 46 goals scored with a 51.2 average.
Oh right, yeah.
Whereas Bournemouth was 67.4 with 55 goals. But there's massive disparities between the both of them, and it highlights the issues, I want to say, in the attack and finishing. And ironically, Evan Nilsson, Bournemouth's new striker, I like him, looks really good. Did struggle at first this season.
Yeah.
Solanke, I wouldn't say he's a prolific goal scorer, and Brighton haven't had a striker.
No.
Like Danny Welbeck's their best striker still. João Pedro loves playing more in the 10 or wide.
He's the 9.
Yeah,
if anything.
He wants to be. He doesn't want to be.
He's like a Bellingham.
Yeah.
He needs to be that middle, of the attack.
He wants to be the link up.
Like the behind the striker.
He wants to get on the ball all the time.
Yeah.
Like a lot of Brazilians do. So basically, he's that standard attacking Brazilian.
Yeah.
Where they all want to play. That's where he wants to play. Anywhere across the front behind a striker. So someone like Evan Ferguson, if he was fit enough to play as the number 9, I think João Pedro would get the most out of him.
Yep.
And vice versa. They'd work. That's why Danny Welbeck has such a good time of it when Pedro's in the team.
Yeah, because he's got someone that's going to play the ball to him and do all his carrying for him.
Run beyond him. So Welbeck can sit in to hold the ball up and play it off.
Yeah.
And that's where I think Brighton specifically could strengthen. Like go and get a centre forward.
Yeah,
go and get someone.
Like an out and out centre forward.
I like Evan Ferguson. I do think he's got a bright future, but he's too injury prone at the minute. And even when he's fit, he's not playing.
Yeah. And
also, you got to be realistic. João Pedro will be moving to bigger and better things in the next 12 months. I can guarantee it. Brighton's that type of club. They are unfortunately a stepping stone for a lot of players.
They're like Sporting.
Yeah. And similarly to that, Bournemouth need they do now because Evan Nilsson's out injured. He just had a foot surgery, but you need another attacker to come in, or you need to start getting more goals out of your wingers.
So do you reckon depth is a big issue for these teams?
100% the depth is. Do you know what I was thinking about the other day? What do academies do? Because you have kids from 5, 6, 7, 8 all the way up to under 18s. Then when there's crises for injuries, like prime example is Tottenham, ravaged with injuries.
Yep.
There's not a single youth product coming in the defensive areas where they're lacking. Like they've got their goalkeepers in. They've used 2 youth goalkeepers. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Then you look at teams like Man United. Højlund is their only real striker. Him and Xerxes are both struggling this season.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a single youth product named on the bench that's doing things. So what are the youth players doing?
Well, this is what I don't get.
What's the point in an academy now?
So I saw a thing about this the other day actually, and it seems to be that they've just stopped. They're developing. They're still developing players, but then they loan them out to smaller clubs or like lower league clubs and things like that. And then they just get lost in the system. Like the Championship's quite a good one for youth. I mean, Watford, we've got 3 or 4 of our youth players that have come from our academy and then just gone in.
Watford's always had a good youth system though. When I was there.
Let's throw that in there, didn't you?
Yeah, always.
But it just seems to be.
That's why I'm sitting
in the
box recording with you.
Yeah, that's it.
Not that we wouldn't be friends, but I had made it.
Well, no, probably not. You'd be.
I'd sign your Watford shirt, yeah.
Oh, thanks, mate. But I think with the Premier League, there's too much money. So
it's egos. Like, you see it all the time. Like, players play really well until they get a big contract. Specifically at United. United's really bad for this.
Yeah.
Like, they've just given Diallo a proper contract. I say proper contract because he was on like 15 grand a week before,
which is nothing.
He's just signed a 5-year deal. I can almost guarantee it'll be a rarity if it doesn't. His form will drop off a cliff. Happened with Garnacho. Actually, no, Garnacho's still on a relatively small wage. Mainu hasn't got his big contract yet. He's still only on 20 grand a week. That is shocking. Happened with Rashford. Happened with Luke Shaw when he got his big move.
Yep.
Happened with Phil Jones. All of them. Like, there's so many players
that just.
United's a very good example because they do promote a lot of youth.
Yeah.
And they have for years. Like, there's not been, I think, a single United game where a youth player has not been named on the bench in X amount of years. Like, it is a very good club for promoting its youth, but they expect too much too soon and they give them too much too soon.
Well, they had obviously Rashford who came from their youth.
Oh, he's on 350 grand a week. Like, he's never been worth that. Like, I'm not saying that he's not had the ability to be a world-class player. He's not proved it enough on a regular basis to get paid that amount.
The consistency's not there.
It's just never been there. And then you're looking at it and you're like, bruh, like, these players are just taking the piss, and they know it as well. Like, you know,
but they know they're going to get that money.
You know, if you come in as an 18 to 22-year-old at United, who's on the cusp of the first team, you come in when they're in this form, when they're rubbish, you have 5, 6, 7, 8 good weeks in a row.
Yep.
Prime example, Amad Diallo. You're going to get offered a decent contract, or towards the end of a contract, you'll be offered an improved deal. Then you're just done. Like, I don't know what Diallo's on, but I can always guarantee. Again, I said use guarantee. I can say with a fair amount of certainty, it's going to be 50 grand upwards a week.
Yeah, it'll easily be a lot of money.
6 good months.
Yeah, and but now it's a wait and see. See if it is. He just falls into the same.
Yeah, so just going back to what you said, there's too much money in the Premier League.
Yeah,
and players know it. Like, we're paying Danny Ings 120 grand a week.
Jesus.
Like, he scored 6 goals for us. And don't get me wrong, Danny Ings is a good goal scorer. And if it had worked, then yeah, fair enough. But it hasn't.
No.
Now, he doesn't want to leave. Rightly so. I wouldn't want to leave.
I wouldn't leave. I'd sit on the bench.
And not doing fucking anything.
I'll sit in the stands for that sort of money.
Yeah, it's fucking mental. And you wonder why FFP's up our arses. Well, not just West Ham, but up every Premier League team's arse. And it's because of stupid decisions at a boardroom level.
Yeah.
Like, these people don't watch football or don't understand how money affects kids.
But it's like
people in general.
Obviously, Arsenal are quite good for bringing their youth in now, like, because they've got quite a youthful squad anyway.
I think they're probably. I don't actually know the figures behind it, but I imagine they're up there with self-promotion.
Yeah, but I think that the point that I was getting at was the fact that you're spending. They'll just buy someone new. Mm-hmm. So if they're injury prone, when it gets to January, they buy someone new. They don't look at promoting because
exactly my point. Yeah.
They
don't take a risk on a youngster.
That's exactly the right word, risk.
But then what's the point in having them? You're having 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds in and around the first team because they have the capability, yet they never make the steps onto the pitch to give them a chance to prove themselves. Like, the only reason Rashford, I know I talked about United in a positive manner, but Rashford was 2 years ahead of schedule when he made his debut against Liverpool and scored those 2 goals. And it was only because they were ravished with injuries. But United are a cornerstone for that. Then they are very good at that. For all their flaws, they are good for players in at times.
Yeah.
It needs to happen more often. It needs to happen. And for this reason, I've spoken about it before, we're going off on a tangent like we always do. But this is for me, if my boys were ever in and around or have the ability to play football at an academy level, I'll say no until they're ready to play.
Yeah.
Because there's so much that you learn. So the benefits you get from the academy are far outweigh negatively for the mental effects it has on you later on in life. If you don't make it, which fundamentally you need to be, again, that word, you need to be honest with yourself. 99% of people in academies don't make it.
No, and that's like the brutal reality of football as well. Because I think especially a lot of parents, and again, this is something else I saw, is that parents of kids that play football and things like that also need to control their own egos.
Yeah, a lot, like we talked about before about pushy parents and stuff.
Well, it's the case of so I can't remember. No.
Oh.
But I was reading a thing that says obviously that parents spend a lot of time complaining to coaches about the fact that their kids aren't being played, instead of looking at the fact that maybe their kid needs to go to a lower level and build themselves back up.
I've moved my eldest on this. I've moved him twice because he wasn't getting enough game time. And although I feel like he is good enough to get the game time, rather than having a conversation with amateur managers who don't really have the time, they're doing it out of their own time like I coach.
Yeah.
I have no issues with that. You need it to be fair, or you need to win games. Whichever way you look at it as a coach, it's not falling on my son's game time. If he wants to play football, I'll go and find him a team where he's going to play regular football.
Yeah.
Is what my point is.
But that's what it should be. But so many people don't do that now. They're just like, no, he needs to play here because it's playing at the top level of his leagues, of his age.
Yeah, and then kids fall out of love of it, and then there's too much pressure. Like, let kids be kids. We've
Absolutely.
gone on a massive tangent.
Right, let's get back to the next part for you.
So, spotlight on key players and managers.
Okay. So managers I've done nothing for on my quiz.
Neither have I really. I've got this section and I'm trying to read it to try and remind myself, but you've got to bear in mind I've done this at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So I have no idea. So I'm trying to formulate where my thought process was. Right. Liverpool have the most goals scored in 2024 with 92, the most shots on target with 286 due to the most shots attempted. So that, obviously, you take more shots, you hit the target more, you score more goals. Fundamentally, that's what you're told as a kid.
That's the basics of football, really, isn't it?
So their attacking prowess is there for everyone to see. Why are Liverpool so potent in attack, no matter what combination of players that they use, compared to your Arsenal? Because Arsenal, although they score goals, don't get me wrong, their XG, I imagine, is... I don't actually know what their XG is. I think
it is lower than that, like by a little bit.
Yeah, I know it's going to be low. Like this season specifically, they've been poor in front of goal.
Yeah, but they've just managed to scrape results.
What is the difference between... Because I don't think the capability of the players...
We say that, but Arsenal don't even have a striker.
Yeah.
So I would say that potentially, obviously, looking at those stats, if you look at sort of shots taken, shots on target, and goals.
But to be fair, sorry, I've just looked it up. So Arsenal's XG is 72.5.
Yeah, but how many goals scored?
89.
Okay, so it's probably not actually as bad as you think it is, but like you say, it's all about perspective.
Yeah, like I just realised, I didn't realise how big the gap is between expected goals. So the top for 2024 is Liverpool at 93.5. Second is Man City with 79. That is how big a difference and how many clear-cut chances Liverpool are making, and then you compare it to their conversion rate, which is 92. The only one that in the top half, just on a quick look, that's lower than their expected goals.
So, yeah.
Everyone else are up until Bournemouth, which are like 6th.
Yeah.
But, sorry, carry on.
I can't remember what I was saying now.
Oh, sorry. It's just, what I'm getting at is, what makes the difference? Is it the coaching off the pitch, or is it the ability of the players? Because
I think
if you pound for pound measured up, say, Arsenal's 4 attackers against Liverpool's 4 attackers, or Chelsea's 4 attackers against Arsenal's 4 attackers, or Liverpool's, whichever you want to do. You got Salah, who's obviously world class,
prolific goal scorer.
You got Luis Diaz.
Yeah.
But let's do it compared to each other. Mo Salah against Saka.
Both
Salah's going to get you more goals.
Saka.
Mo Salah.
Oh, Mo Salah. I was going to say.
Was that Mo Saka?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what confused me. So yeah, Salah's going to get you more goals. Saka is going to score you goals.
Yeah,
realistically, in that Arsenal
team, he's going
team,
to create you goals as well. He's probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm going to tell you right now, Mo Salah is the highest for assists and goals.
Yeah, I looked at that one.
But I think that's also what helps, is because Salah is a prolific goal scorer, but he's also a prolific assister.
And he plays every week. He doesn't get injured much, which honestly helps.
I mean, neither does Saka, really.
He's out now.
Yeah, he's out now.
Which is why Arsenal are struggling now. But
yeah, because like we said, you've got one player in each position that they need to have, and that's Odegaard.
So, I think what I'm getting to, just to cut this, because this could go on for ages, is it because of Mo Salah?
No, it's not just because of Mo Salah. Although, actually saying that, yeah, I mean, Diaz scores not that frequently. Núñez is just Nunes.
Gakpo's having a good season, but
Yeah, I suppose maybe a bit more comes from the midfield. Curtis
but in
Jones.
saying that, pair up Arsenal's midfield against Liverpool's on paper.
Yeah.
There's not much difference. You've got Odegaard, Rice, and Partey.
Yeah, but Odegaard is the only real one that I'd say is scoring goals.
On paper.
On paper,
No,
yeah.
I'm saying not about goals scored, but then you compare it to, say, Szoboszlai,
Gakpo.
or Gakpo plays on a wing.
Oh, yeah, true.
So Szoboszlai,
Jones.
McAllister, I'd say. Jones
McAllister.
or Szoboszlai starts.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
And then Gravenberch.
Mm.
Gravenberch, I'd have over Declan Rice and Thomas Partey. I'd have Odegaard over Szoboszlai.
Yeah.
And I'd probably, to be fair, Liverpool's midfield is arguably
Odegaard
better,
is probably the only midfield from Arsenal that would get into
Yeah.
Liverpool.
But in saying that, before this season, how many people would have said that? Like, Gravenberch's had a massive upturn in performances. McAllister's always been quality, even since his debut for Brighton. I loved him. So Bosley is a bit hit or miss for me. I prefer Curtis Jones. And then there's probably a conversation between Curtis Jones or Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Which I'll get pelters for again, but I won't talk about that just now. So yeah, it could be.
It could be that.
And then the fullbacks obviously play a part as well.
Well, you got Trent that's scoring more goals than any other right back.
Crosses and
he is very prolific for assists and scoring 30-yard screamers.
We've not taken enough shots either. I'm just going to have a quick look at Arsenal shots on target in comparison. So Arsenal have got 212 shots on target.
Yeah.
Compared to their 585, but that's nearly 200 less than Liverpool's shots.
Yeah.
It pairs Liverpool's high possession rates with their shots, so it is comparable if you do it in the right with the right balance.
Yeah. So if you're looking at obviously all the stats and things like that, if there's 200 more shots, you're gonna get more goals. It's just no matter what you do.
It's just what I'm trying to figure out is what's the key component missing to bridge the gap between Arsenal and Liverpool, because obviously Arsenal fans are annoyed or wherever they're at with the whole situation regarding Arteta and where they are in titles, no titles, cups, no cups.
Yeah.
How is it possible for Liverpool to bridge the gap not only between themselves and Arsenal, but further that and better them in the space of one season, one summer, with no transfers and a new manager? How have they managed to do that? Because Arsenal were competing, and logic dictates being that close for 2 seasons isn't a flash in the pan. So if there's a drop off, you'd expect Arsenal to be there, ready to swoop in and take it. So how have Liverpool managed to bridge that gap and further it so quickly?
I mean, I think that's got to be more on. I mean, this is such a funny season in the Premier League, though. So don't get me wrong, like, Liverpool deserve to be where they are. They've played great football. They've scored a great amount of goals. So I think it's more to do with Arsenal's battle has always been with City. Now that they're not battling with City, recent Arsenal, yeah. But now that battle's not as big, I don't think that they were prepared for Liverpool to fly out the pan as quickly as they did.
Well, none of us were.
No.
But then saying that, are people not paid in the Premier League to look at these stats that we're giving you, to then bring forward to the boardroom, to bring forward to the manager and the coaching staff to be like, look, Liverpool are a team to watch this year.
Yeah.
We need to be ready for this, because the stats don't lie. This was here for 6 months last season, and Liverpool are top of all the key indicators. You're going to win titles. So it's no surprise based off of that. Although we're surprised watching it because of where they were to where they are.
Yeah.
But people are paid thousands of pounds
to do exactly what we're doing.
Yeah. Like, so I wouldn't say that's an excuse.
No, you are right.
Not good enough. Like, if I was Arteta, I'd be fuming, because this isn't a surprise based off of everything we're going to give you. Like,
is that an ego thing? Do you reckon he just thought he could deal with it?
Maybe. Someone's got to front the blame here.
Yeah.
Someone's going to have to. I say to blame, like I touched on it before. Arsenal are where they should be. They're ahead of the game the last 2 years. They're not. They shouldn't be title challengers.
They're not prolific enough.
They should be now. Sorry, when they were challenging for titles against City, running them so close, was ahead of schedule, miles ahead of schedule, like Liverpool are now.
Yeah. I mean, their new manager bounce has just carried on.
But it's a funny one, and that's a nice little segment for you Arsenal fans. If you are an Arsenal fan, tell us what you think. Like, really what you think. Not Arteta out.
Oh, God.
None of that.
No.
Actually, you can do that if you want. I don't really care. But
I don't see the point. Like, I don't.
It's blatantly obvious. Arsenal need a striker.
Yeah.
You need a striker. Go and get Isak.
Yeah.
Go and get Gyökeres. Go and get a striker.
Do you reckon Isak would go?
Yeah.
Given the right money?
150 million.
And you think...
Remember when I said to you, Isak is just as good as Haaland? You laughed at me. Do you remember that?
God.
Does anyone else remember that?
I remember.
Do you remember when I said at the beginning of the season that Isak's going to be top goal scorer? And I was laughed at.
Yep. You still are laughed at about it.
He'll be top goal scorer, mate. Best striker in the world.
Yeah, but he's not going to be top striker this season, is he?
We'll see. Him or Mo Salah.
I was going to say, like, no one is...
I also don't remember my predictions if I even said that. I know I wanted to say it, but...
But there was a conversation. Isak was in conversation. I don't think you would have said that he was going to be top.
I was on my own, so I had no one to bounce off of.
Oh yeah, it's true.
So I don't remember. That was originally my plan for this one.
Yeah.
One more, and then we can do your quiz.
All right, cool. Smash up my quiz to finish off.
So this is the league's future,
Right.
not like 5 years time, like this season. Based on the stats, who is best positioned to win the title this year?
Surely it's still got to be Liverpool. Based on... Yeah.
That's what happened there. So Arsenal and Liverpool would be joint top for 2024 with 85 points.
Yeah.
And City are third with 82.
Really? Okay.
I'm not too sure how much City won the league by last year, but I don't think it was that close. And to
No.
drop off, and not, well, there's only 3 points, but to drop off that much shows how far they dropped this season.
Yeah, because then, I mean, they're not even looking like they're going to come close to it at that point.
Yeah.
At this point. But I mean...
So, go on.
It doesn't... Where are Chelsea on that list? Have you got that? I mean, how far does it go down? Because that's... I mean, obviously, that's quite surprising.
I do. It's right at the top.
Oh, is it?
So Chelsea will finish fourth.
Jesus. So, I mean, like, looking at the way the table is now,
There's not
maybe not that surprising.
To be fair, looking at the table, so this will be the prediction for this year. I'll do like the top 7, right?
Do the top 8, because that's Europe.
Okay. Yeah, top 8. And this, actually, I'll do the top 10 because there's 2 teams outside of it. Before the season, if you read this out to me, I don't think there'd be too many people complaining. The only one would be City, obviously, being in third.
Yeah.
Which Michael Owen predicted if they finish 5th, I think. But anyway, so Arsenal will be top based on goal difference because their goals against are far better than Liverpool's. Yeah. Liverpool will be 2nd, City 3rd, Chelsea 4th, Newcastle 5th, Villa 6th, Bournemouth 7th, Fulham 8th, Tottenham 9th, Man United 10th, and Forest 11th.
Jesus.
So that's,
you know what?
based
Actually,
off the stats from the year where they're predicted to finish.
See, now looking at it halfway through the season, that's actually probably not that surprising. I even think maybe at the start of the season that probably wouldn't have been that surprising.
No. The only one there would be the fact that Forest are joint 2nd, they dropped down to 11th.
And the fact that Tottenham and United are both...
Well, they're both down there, though. So United
I know, yeah,
and
but I mean, now
12.
that we're halfway through, but at the start of the season, you probably wouldn't think that.
No, yeah, probably not. Actually, no, definitely not. But, yeah. Be interesting. Watch your space.
Space. What's your space?
Watch space, you cakes. So, Arsenal going to win the league, basically.
According to that.
If they can maintain a defensive resilience, which leads me lovely into my next question. How many goals conceded... I told you this earlier, to see if you were listening. And you. How many goals did Arsenal concede in the entirety of 2024?
Was this one really low?
Yeah.
Because they were the best, weren't they? 33?
25.
Oh, I was well
How
off.
many goals have they conceded so far this season? 18.
18?
Already, yeah.
1-8.
So
they really need to strengthen up their defence, considering... Although...
they're just conceding more goals. I don't know.
Hang on, the entirety of 2024, so that includes the beginning of this season as well?
Yeah.
And they conceded 25 in the entirety of the 12 months.
Yes.
Well, not 12 months, but...
Because obviously there's disparities in how many games people play. So some... Well, obviously the relegated and promoted teams only play like 20. But some play 36, some play 38. Arsenal played 36, whereas Liverpool played 37, and Man City have played 38 in the year.
So in 36 goals, 36 games, they've conceded 25. So that's what, half a goal a game?
Yeah,
almost.
They conceded 18 so far this season, so their defence is nowhere near as good as what.
That's one a game.
Was it? Yeah, because we're just over halfway now, aren't we?
Yeah, 18 games in. 18, 19.
Last question for me. It's not really a question. We sort of spoke about it before. I keep closing my brief. Fuck you. What do teams like Bournemouth and Brighton need to do to close the disparity between their XG and the goals scored? We spoke about it a bit earlier, actually.
I suppose that it all comes down to being more clinical.
Yeah,
they need
to take less shots from fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
Maybe move the ball in extra pass. Brighton need a striker. I think it's as simple as that.
I think it is. It does come down to that, really. They need stats of people who are being more clinical.
Yeah.
And that I think that would help them to get maybe into the top 6, and then people start looking at them a bit more seriously. But Bournemouth need to improve their stadium as well.
12,000, is it?
Yeah.
Mate,
smallest.
Wait. I've got who I've taken. My Accrington Stanley on Football Manager. We are in like League One now after a promotion, and our stadium, which I've renovated, holds I think 8,000.
And that's League One. But I think there's like obviously League 1 and 2 clubs
there's no space in Bournemouth. They need to rebuild the stadium.
Yeah, they'd have to move it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Look at MK Dons though.
MK Dons.
You don't want to be building up too much and then end up having an empty stadium, do you?
Mate, that is mental. Like MK Dons is like a shopping centre built around the stadium.
Yeah.
It's mental. Anyway, that's the end of my bits. I've got a conclusion afterwards.
On to the remainder of my quiz.
My bum hurts. Sorry. I've done leg day yesterday, so I have to keep shifting in my seat. I've not got like piles or anything. It's just...
It does have piles. It's so cold outside.
That's leg day after Christmas, and those mince pies. More like the 47 crates of beer I had.
Yeah, more like...
I'm not got anything up.
That's fine, because you don't... I think it's not that easy.
This is for you as well. So, pause it. Also, remember some of the stats that you're going to get, because
some of them.
I want to see some comments in this. We really brought you something a bit different this week, so
hope for a bit more interactivity.
Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy it, and we can get some more comments and some lovely people to interact with. Anyway,
absolutely.
Crack on.
Right. So
these chairs are so uncomfortable.
One for you.
One for me.
Kudos.
Kudos or kudos?
Kudos. Has the highest amount of dribbles attempted with 236.
Yeah.
But how many were completed?
How many? 200
So he had 236 attempted.
In 2024?
In 2024.
I'm going to say 189.
I'll give you the options. Because you're wrong.
I knew he was top of this, by the way.
So A is 153.
Yeah.
B, 138, and C is 127.
153.
Now, we'll give you guys a minute before, because, I mean, Mike's wrong. It's C, 127.
Well, he needs to stop doing it then. That's less than half.
It is less than half. Well,
I think it's still one of the highest, isn't it?
Yeah. Who has won the most aerial duels of 2024?
Team or player?
Player, sorry.
Right.
Is it A, Chris Wood? Is it B,
Chris Wood?
Dominic Calvert-Lewin?
Yeah.
Or is it C, Virgil van Dijk?
Aerial duels.
So the most aerial duels won.
Shall I think in 5 seconds? Actually, no, because I'll just...
You just pause it.
It makes it harder to do a short. I'm going to go Van Dijk.
No, it's Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
This is based on minutes played, though, isn't it?
I'd imagine that's the way it starts.
He's just a beanpole.
It's like Peter Crouch, isn't it?
Peter Crouch was quality, mate. Don't sleep on Crouchy's ability.
All right. Who had the most yellow cards of 2024? So all of my questions are based on just 2024. So the end of last season, the beginning of this season.
So some of the teams, is it likely that any of these questions are going to be relegated teams?
Potentially, yeah. A, Carl Walker. B, Ashley Young. C, Nathan Semedo.
Nelson Semedo.
Oh, my phone's all corrected to Nathan.
Nathan Semedo. That
Nathan.
sounds like something my dad would call someone because he just can't bother to pronounce their Portuguese name.
Yeah.
Who's that? Nelson. We call him that Nathan.
Nathan.
It was Jose John. You know that John Mourinho?
John's Mourinho.
I'm going to go Ashley Young. It's got to be.
No.
What?
It's Nathan. Nelson Semedo.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Is he still at Wolves? 'Cause I think they sold it. It's mad to think that Barcelona paid 30 million for him at one point.
Yeah.
Mental.
Nelson
Semedo, wow. How many do you have?
I think it's like 11.
In 2024?
Yeah, it's on the stat sheet, which you'll all be able to have a look at afterwards, but I don't have it.
I don't have a look at it now because it might give me more than.
Who has the most clean sheets?
Okay.
Is it A, Everton, B, Man City, or is it C, Arsenal? This for the entirety of 2024, remember?
I know it's I know it's between these two, and it's only because that I know Jordan Pickford has the most clean sheets. I'm going to go Everton. The second most clean sheets, so it might actually be Arsenal, but I'm going to go Everton.
It's Arsenal.
I know Everton a second though.
Yeah.
Which is mental considering they're so shit.
Yep. We done this one earlier, but I thought I'd throw this one in for you. Who has faced the most shots and conceded the most goals of 2024? Is it A, West Ham United? Is it B, Wolves? Or is it C, Manchester United?
West Ham.
It is West Ham United.
By a country mile. You know what? It's funny though, because the eye test does work because we do concede a lot of goals and we do concede a lot of chances, and I've known it for ages and I've seen it. But I've never seen the stats to back it up. And when you see it on like that, it's just so bad. So anyone saying that David Moyes didn't need to go, it started last season.
Remember, this is
before.
This is all 2024, it's last season as well. I think for a lot of you avid football fans as well, you'll be quite interested by some of these stats, so we will put them up for you to see. Right, who has created the most chances of 2024? Is it A, Cole Palmer? Is it B, Bruno Fernandes? Or is it C, Kevin De Bruyne?
2024.
2024. I've also got the number of chances they've created as well.
I'm going to write off Kevin De Bruyne because of his injury. Because it's not based on minutes played, it'll be the most chances created.
Yeah.
I think Bruno Fernandes is going to surprise people with how many years he must be up there for him to be put in. I'm going to say Cole Palmer though because of his goals and assists over the last 24 months, 12 months. I think I'll go Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer. It's Bruno Fernandes. He's created 99 chances.
Oh, that's fuming. I'll be fuming.
Just need one more.
Just one
He's
more.
probably done that one more.
Mind you, I hope you got it by the time you got it, but we're on 99 subscribers, so anyone, just hit the subscribe button. Thank you.
Just one more. We just need that 100.
That's a perfect segue.
Yeah. Only 3 players have had more than 1 red card.
Yeah.
Who are they?
I can name all 3 of them.
That's good.
I can name one of them actually.
Well, I haven't put down A, B, or C because this is just a. I mean, 2 of them are quite surprising.
Wait,
but
let me see if I can guess without the options first.
Well, I haven't got any options.
Okay, there's no options.
Nope.
Okay, cool. So Calvin Phillips is definitely one.
Yep.
With 2.
In
2024.
Yeah. So this, I believe, is one of the relegated teams' players.
Okay.
Because I actually don't know who he plays for.
Sheffield United, Burnley, and who else went up? Luton. So it ain't a Luton player then.
That could be one of the relegated teams. That's what I say.
Okay. I'm going to say Ashley Young.
No.
Only one then.
Which surprises me.
2024.
Yeah.
Well, only Calvin Phillips got 2 for us. Ollie McBurney?
No.
Can you give me a clubs? Give me a few clubs. Just give me a few clubs.
So, I don't know
there
who.
Is there is a centre back in there. I know there's a centre back.
The third one, I actually don't know who he is. And that shows a bit of lack of.
Like a Southampton centre back or a Burnley centre back or something.
There is one of the Manchester players. I won't tell you which Manchester.
Bruno Fernandes
is correct.
I thought he might have, but
yeah, because he's had 2 before Christmas, didn't he?
Yeah, but one got rescinded, so it wouldn't count.
That's true. So the other one must have been last season.
Yeah.
And then the last one, I honestly, I'll tell you who it is. It's Jack Stevens.
He plays for Southampton.
Right. Okay. I was going to say I don't actually know where he plays.
He got sent off twice this year already. Well, he must have been on loan in the Prem last year, or maybe he's on loan in the Prem last year, and that seems like a lot.
Okay. Now, who has the most combined yellow and red cards?
Team.
No. Player. Is it A, Nelson Semedo?
Yeah.
Is it B, Mark Cucurella? Or is it C, Ashley Young?
Ashley Young. Fucking hell. He seems to get sent off every other week.
I know, that's what I thought as well. It's actually Nelson Semedo.
This geezer, I used to like him, now I hate him. What is this one? On my phone.
Okay, this again, right, I don't know what it is, but I've got the stat next to it.
Okay.
So who has carried the ball the furthest?
Or distance.
Distance. Is it A, Cole Palmer,
Right, no.
B, Jeremy Doku, or
Possibly.
C, Jan Paul Van Heck?
Van Hecker is the centre-back for Tottenham, so I'm going to go Van Hecker, because for him to be in it, it has to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to know how far?
17 miles.
7,695 metres.
Oh, that's 7
Oh, it might be yards.
No, it'll be
Is it done in metres or yards on
I
there?
don't know. I don't look at it.
But yeah,
Doesn't matter. It's about 7 miles.
so it's almost 8,000.
Yeah, it's because he loves them lung-busting runs.
That's it.
And Van Dijk did at Celtic.
And my last question,
Yep.
which I actually didn't put a tick next to which one's the right one, so I'll have a look at the stats in a minute.
Okay.
Who has the most successful passes? Is it A, William Saliba?
Mm-hmm.
Is it B, Virgil van Dijk?
Yeah.
Or is it C, Lewis Dunk? Now, talk amongst yourselves just while I load this up.
They're all centre-backs. Between Van Dijk and Saliba for me.
So it had to be all the centre backs really, because with the amount people play out from the back and stuff like that.
So I'm going to discard Lewis Dunk, although I know Brighton have high percentages. I don't think they're anywhere near the other two in terms of their levels. So I'm going to go with a punt, and I'm going to go against what I initially thought and say Van Dijk.
Van Dijk, and one moment, and I will load it up for you and tell you if you're correct.
Hold the line, please, caller.
Wait, have you got any hold music? It's Virgil van Dijk.
That's my elevator music.
Lewis Dunk is in second.
Go on, donkey boy.
Do you know how many successful passes Virgil van Dijk has made?
11,712.
You're well off.
Well,
2,716.
I'm well off with these numbers. I've got a question for you.
Go on.
I've just found this now because I didn't think about this.
Go on.
This is for you guys as well. In 2024, there are 3 players, current Premier League players still, who have scored. Actually, no, 4 players who have scored, Premier League players currently, scored 5 or more headed goals. Can you name them?
Chris Wood has to be one of them.
Yep, with 6.
Calvert-Lewin has to be another.
Nope.
He's not on
He's
there.
scored 6 goals in a year.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He doesn't score.
Virgil van Dijk?
Nope.
Headers. Haaland?
Nope.
Haaland's not up there with headers.
Haaland has got 3.
Oh, okay. Right, so you've got Chris Wood. William Saliba.
Nope.
Is there any centre-backs in that top 5?
There's 2.
There's 2 in that top. Lewis
No,
Dunk?
there's 1.
Who scores?
I'm fuming, by the way, for this, and I'll tell you for why in a minute when we get to him.
I'm just trying to think of bean poles. Oh, Luis Diaz.
Nope.
Oh.
He's got 3.
Darwin Núñez? No, he doesn't score goals.
Not there, no.
And Virgil van Dijk? He's not.
You already said that.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought. Right, so I knew.
You got Chris Wood.
Yeah, I got Chris Wood. I'm just trying to think of who else scores headers. Hoyland?
No.
No, he doesn't score headers.
I'm
I'm trying to think of people who are prolific goal scorers. Oh, who's that guy who plays for Tottenham?
No. It's not anyone from Tottenham.
No, it's not.
2 of my favourite players, right?
Danny Welbeck?
No.
He's your favourite player, though, isn't he?
Yeah, well, 2 of my favourite players. I'm going to say they are my favourite.
Any West Ham players? No, you'd have to score goals for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
So, Gabriel at Arsenal centre-back.
All right.
You'll be the other one. I put Gabriel in my FPL this year, and William Saliba's been scoring all the headers.
Told you.
Isak.
Oh, okay.
And Ollie Watkins.
Ollie Watkins.
Who, by the way, I want to point this out again. I am Mystic Mike. I told the world that he is not good enough and he would be dropped. And not Isak, what's his name? Duran got sent off, and Watkins has done nothing. He's playing West Ham tonight, so he'll probably score a hat trick. But
he's going to score 3.
It's irrelevant.
I'm going to put a bet on
I feel
that.
that's a beer. Watching that shit, I can't not.
You're going to have to,
I
mate.
really can't not. Anyway.
Today is not part of January for Mike.
No, I'm not doing dry January. It's a pile of shit.
Yeah.
If you're going to stop drinking. Like, charity's not shit, don't get me wrong, but stopping for a specific month.
Give to charity, you don't have to stop drinking.
Yeah.
But please do drink responsibly, and we're not encouraging heavy drinking.
No, we don't do that ever.
No.
Ever. Anyway, some of my most surprising stats here.
Yeah.
Some of them, they're not really that surprising, but I was actually surprised Liverpool were the highest goal scorers.
Yeah.
I didn't think they would be. I thought City would be closer than what they were.
Yeah.
If you hear anything weird in the background, it's my dog. He's in with us today.
He's having a nice big stretch there.
Get him to say hello, maybe.
He folded like
There's a lot of liars.
He folded like a croissant.
Croissant?
A croissant.
Brentford obviously being the highest goal conversion with 15.3 is massive.
Yeah, big surprise there.
The biggest one though, which I touched on earlier, is Everton have got the second most clean sheets in 2024.
That is
with 14.
insane.
4 behind Arsenal.
That is insane.
It's absolutely mental. And they were shit last year, they're shit this year. For all his flaws, Jordan Pickford's a good goalkeeper.
I mean, I don't think anyone can ever doubt that Jordan Pickford's a good goalkeeper. Yeah. He's good for Everton, he's good for England. And I'll tell you what, I think the only reason he's good for England is because he gets so much practice playing for Everton.
He turns up to camp and be like, you know what, Jordan, just stay in the canteen, mate.
You
want to come and play 5-a-side and bust his head.
Yeah, like, don't worry about it. Just get on the treadmill every now and then, have a nice swim. But we know you get enough practice.
Yeah. What's it up for you, off the top of your head?
I think, the Brentford is quite a surprising one. I think how high Bournemouth have been in some of these stats tables have been quite surprising.
Like again, we'll link it in the comments or the... He's coming over.
You're about to see the pooch.
In the description, I'll link everything.
Yeah, so you can sort of have a little look through yourself, and then you can sort of have a look through some surprises yourself.
Yeah, so...
Here is Marley the mascot.
Sit down. Sit. Can you face the camera, please?
There he is.
Sit down. Sit.
Good boy.
Sit. Good boy.
We're going to get all the stats up for you. You guys have a little look through. Any surprises that you guys have?
That's what I was going to touch on. Is like,
just let us know. Like, what surprised you the most from
what we've given you so far? What we're going to put in the description. Let us know what stood out most to you guys. If your team's over or underachieving based on your expectations. If you're one of the few that thought the season would pan out like this, that Forest would be doing as well as they are, or Liverpool, I don't think there's anyone that thought Forest would be doing this well. But I think there's probably a few people that might have fancied Liverpool to do well, maybe not this well.
Also, have a little look. So the predicted tables on there. Is there any teams that you guys would swap? Is there any teams that you think actually aren't going to do as well as it says on the table? Just let us know. Like, give us an idea of what your thoughts are, and
who you think's going to finish overachievers at the end of the season. Like, there's been a lot of movers and shifters in January. There'll be obviously transfers coming in and out. Loads of links for United players. Managers in and out as well. So it'll be different styles of play. It does look likely. Since we started, I got a notification. It does that Moyes has been in talks today with the Everton board. So it does look like he's going back. Be back in charge for their next game, because obviously they've got a week off now before the Premier League, so it'll be a decent time. Yeah,
because you've got all the FA Cup games this week.
Well, they played yesterday, so. But let us know who you think might fall short or do well by the end of the season. One last thing, actually a couple last things. First of all, any of the stats that you liked or disliked, if you think any of our stats are wrong, please do tag us on any of our socials. It's all in the description below. Yeah. Get chatting to us. We want to really grow this community this year, and we've made an agreement amongst ourselves to really put more time and effort into this.
We're going to be more professional as well.
Yeah, we're trying to.
We're going to try and upgrade a few things, and
we'll see slow changes. We'll probably still be in this little box room, but hopefully the echo dissipates over time with better mics and better equipment. But
we'll keep this mic though.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I ain't fucking leaving.
We do something a little bit different. Mix it up a little bit, make you guys have something else to look at instead of just us two chatting amongst ourselves and me getting all my information wrong.
Well, there's so many podcasts like ours. Yeah, you need to stand out some way.
Got to be some sort of unique stamp.
Without me coming in a Speedo, there's very little that will differentiate us from everyone else. So we thought we'd go a different way and use more stat-based information with proof that it's factual, not made up. Hopefully you guys like it.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I thought I've thoroughly enjoyed myself, and it's good to see that our stats have paid off in regards to a nice good quiz as well. Yeah. I will be honest though, before you say anything, please don't turn up in a Speedo. I will go home. Well, you never know. Someone might fancy seeing Mike in a cup.
Yeah. I have been told that I have a lot of sex appeal for the gay community.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Been told by I work with a couple of gay people, and it's sometimes a little borderline
Harassment.
But before we go, Carabao Cup this week. Newcastle beating Arsenal away, Tottenham beating Liverpool at home. You got the reverse fixtures in February on my birthday, actually, that weekend. Who's going to win the Carabao Cup?
Liverpool.
You think they're going to turn around and beat Tottenham?
Yeah.
I think Newcastle win it.
Reckon?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, potentially.
I hope they do.
It'd be nice to see someone different.
To be fair, whoever wins it, apart from Tottenham, I'll be happy for it because it's not Man City.
Yeah. You don't want Tottenham to win it?
No, I fucking hate Tottenham. Have I not told you that?
Well, yeah, but I just thought...
No, I don't want Tottenham to win it. It's funny that they don't win anything. It's just funny that they're
just
failures.
There's no trophies.
I don't want them to lose everything.
Is that so they don't have a trophy
I want
cabinet
to
or
get to the
something?
final and lose. Well, the last minute equaliser, like what happened to West Ham against Liverpool those years ago with Steven Gerrard.
Yeah.
I want that to happen to Tottenham.
I will just be grateful it's not Man City.
Yeah.
Who's
Who's won the FA Cup? Very early on.
Fulham.
Dicked on Watford last night in case you didn't see it. Any Fulham fans, just put your L's in the comments.
Oh, don't.
Nick, anyone, please.
Yeah, but...
I'm a West Ham fan as well, so when we lose to Villa tonight, Villa fans, come at me as well. But I'm going to say, bold prediction.
What for tonight? For you guys?
I don't think we're going to win tonight. If we didn't have Villa so early on and Potter coming in, I'd maybe be more optimistic. But I actually think, you heard it here first, I think Man United will win the FA Cup. You heard it here first.
They won it last season, didn't they?
Yeah, so they're the holders.
I don't reckon they're going to win it again.
They've got nothing to play for in the league. They're not in Europe. They've got the Europa League and the FA Cup.
Yeah, but form's awful.
Mate, stranger things have happened.
No, Arsenal...
Stranger things have happened.
I reckon Arsenal will dick them.
Dick 'em. Dick 'em, boys.
Is that the right term?
No,
Dick 'em.
I suppose it could be.
They're going to get battered, is my thought process.
Battered like a... I actually want a battered sausage. I'm just hungry.
All right, mate.
No, not... Your head is disgusting. Anyway, please do let us know your thoughts. Like and subscribe, all that jazz.
Yeah.
All our socials are somewhere. But anyway, peace, love. Happy 2025. Hope it brings peace, prosperity, and...
Health and wealth.
What's another P? Peace, prosperity, and... small growth.
Yeah.
Peace.